Okay, not here yet. Jeff Bonner.
Good evening here.
Linda,
Okay, all right,
Linda, I'm going to interrupt
Yes.
you to let you know Delegate Bhandari says he's here.
all right. Got that. Moving on to District 42B. I said Jeff Bonner and then Katie Dot.
Present.
Thank you. And George.
I'm here.
Thank you. 44B, Bishop Barry Chapman.
Here.
Thank you. Aisha Khan. Is Aisha here? Anyone see her? No.
Oh,
George White.
here.
Thank you. Senator Charles Sidnor.
Here.
Thank you. Now for our at-large members. Ruben Amaya.
Here.
Thank you. Nina Duggins.
She
Nina Duggins.
she told me she would not be here tonight.
Okay. Cheryl Gottlieb. Anyone see Cheryl? Okay. Ratsita Gray.
Here.
Thank you. Samay Kendra.
He told me he would not be here tonight.
Tamara Lucas. Tamara Lucas. Don't see her. Danita Tolson. Danita Tolson. Okay. Let's see. Joan Mangy. Nope.
This is associate
Nina
members.
These are the associate members. Nina Phillipson. Nana. Did someone see her?
Let's see.
No.
Oh, Nana. I haven't seen
No.
her.
Charles Smith. Anyone see Charles Smith? No.
Yeah,
Bonnie
I'm here.
Smith?
Thanks.
You are? Okay.
Charlie Smith is here.
Thank you. Bonnie Smith?
Here. I'm here.
Thank you. Gary English? Gary? No. Cornelius Jennings? Neil Jennings? Okay,
Linda, Cheryl
Yes.
is here.
thank you. So I've got Cheryl down. And just a couple of names, David Williams. Is David here? Dave Williams, don't see him. And Sebastian.
Sebastian is not the Young Dems president anymore.
Okay, so I'll scratch him off. Now what I need are the names of all the people who are guests. And can I have first the names of the people who were at, well, I'm just going to start. The people who won their elections, can I just start having your names, please?
And just to clarify for Linda's sake, we're talking about the people who ran, quote unquote, unopposed. That is, were guaranteed to win because there was not any competition beyond the number of people to fill a particular district's slots.
Okay, just speak out your name.
Carson Kamenetz. I'm happy to be here.
All right, Carson Kamenetz.
Reese Peak from District 11. I'm also happy to be here.
Peak.
Noel Levy, Levitt B.
Okay, no.
Matthew Reesner, 44A.
All right, very good.
And
Anyone else?
Satish Chapagai from 7A.
Okay, Satish.
Ed Kreiser from District 6.
Ed Kreiser. Who else?
Emma Matthews from 11B. And I'm grateful to be invited and honored.
All right, thank you.
I think I saw Kim Ross somewhere.
Ross is here. Hi, Jason, from
There
District
we go.
8.
Kim Ross.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. I've only heard two ladies so far. Anyone else?
I think,
My name is Sharonda Huffman, and I'm a guest.
Okay, Sharonda. Who else?
let's see.
Leslie Grant, a guest. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Who else?
Christine Brooks Cropper, yes.
Who else?
Hello, everyone. Okiobi, a guest.
Who is that?
Okiobi, guest. Yeah.
Okay, spell your first name.
It's OKE.
Mm-hmm.
Last name is spelled OBI.
O-B-I. Oh, okay. Got it. Who else?
Island Charles Cropfelder Jr.
Charles Cropfelder. All right. Who else?
I'm Jennifer Dwyer. I am a guest.
Who?
Jennifer Dwyer.
Jennifer. Uh-huh. Anyone else?
Judy LeKind, guest.
Ian Miller, guest.
Ian Miller.
And Linda, I believe I saw Cornell Smith.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were still on the polls, people. Cornell.
No, just speak up.
It's okay. Thank you.
Cornell Smith. Anyone else?
Danita Tolson.
Okay. All right. I think I called your name earlier.
Danita?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Thank you, Danita.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? I think we may have actually, anyone else come in? Just let me know.
Will do.
Okay.
All right. So number one, Linda, do we have a quorum?
Do we have a quorum? Yes, we do have a quorum.
All right. Let's seize upon that.
Yeah, amen to that.
All right. So for everybody who's joining us for the first time, or if not the first time, not a regular attendee, tonight's meeting is obviously going to be a bit more chaotic than normal because number one, we're not on our regular schedule. And number two, obviously we're coming just out of the election and people's schedules generally in July and after the election are going to be a bit messy. So thank you all for joining us, and especially anyone who's here as a guest and a new person. It's very important that we have as much activity as possible. So now we're going to move on to administrative items. We're going to start with the financial report. Katie? I know Katie's doing double duty tonight because we also have a state party executive committee meeting going on simultaneous with this one.
Yes, okay, hold on here. Let's share my screen. And where did it go? Hold on. Okay, let's see here. And there it is. Can you all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. I'm Katie Dott. I am the Baltimore County Democratic Party Treasurer for the Central Committee. This is the June 2022 report. Our beginning balance of June 1st was $750.96. Our total expenses from the administrative account were $233.74, leaving an ending balance in our administrative account of $522.22. For our legislative account, the beginning balance was $29,686.40. No deposits last month. Our total expenses were $1,806.62, but some of that was rent, our office fees, and also our fairs and festivals. We have an ending balance in our legislative account of $27,879.78. Our total cash on hand is $28,402. The monthly change was minus $2,040.36. And that is the June treasurer's report. Any questions?
Motion to accept.
Second.
That was
Who
Corey and
made the
Danny.
motion? Who made the motion to accept?
Corey Edwards,
And who seconds?
Danny Blunt.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear no response. So the financial report has been accepted unanimously. Way to go, Katie. All right, up next, approval of meeting minutes for June. Linda,
Yes, you have the minutes, and we just need to have a vote on them.
okay, hold on. You need me to put them up is what I'm hearing.
Not really. If you want to, you may.
I think it's a good idea.
They were sent to everyone.
Yes, but just for the benefit of those in attendance and the millions watching at home, one, you get to watch me try to manipulate technology, which is always a fun challenge. So bear with me here. All right. Oh, wait, I think you need to, Katie, I think I may need to be made a,
Jason, do you want to share?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
All right, I have you to share.
All right. All right, here are the meeting minutes from our June 21st, 2022 general body meeting. Identifying those in attendance and the discussions that were had. Does anybody have any amendments to the meeting minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes.
And who was that?
What's that?
A
Danny.
second.
Danny.
Second.
And George seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear no response, therefore meeting minutes are approved. Congratulations, Linda.
Okay.
Now, earlier on the agenda, I said we're going to do the introduction of the 9 individuals that ran unopposed in the primary. 8 of the 9 are here. But while we still have everyone's attention, let's go to the second vice chair election first. So I'm going to stop sharing here. There is one nominee for second vice chair. At the last meeting, there were 2 nominees, the second being Mark Weaver, who subsequently informed me he did not wish to pursue that position and withdrew the nomination. Therefore, we are left with George White. And for those of you who don't know George, I can assure you, if you've been to any Democratic event in the last several years, you have seen George at your event. George is what I refer to as the superhero known as Everywhere Man, because he's everywhere, man. Literally, he is at everything. On, like, for example, 4th of July, he was at how many different parades, George?
Let's see. I guess, yeah, 4 parades: Dundalk, 8:15, Towson, 10:30, Arbutus at 12, and then Catonsville at 3.
And then I'm sure you did something else after 3, because I know you don't just sit still.
Yeah,
Just for fun.
I took a total of 902 pictures at all 4 events and posted them all.
So that's a brief background I can give you about George. He's literally at everything. And he's been a very active person on the Central Committee, but even well before the Central Committee, he's been very active in his community, the surrounding area, and other Democratic candidates and the party generally. George, would you like to say anything?
Oh, yes, just, let's see, just thank you for the vote of confidence. I enjoyed I really enjoyed being part of the democratic process, because as I always mention, this democratic thing it's bigger than I am, but it takes all of us to make it all happen. I'm just proud to be part of this movement. And as you guys know, we have a upcoming race coming, and we're gonna need all hands on deck. But again, thank you for your confidence in me, and I'll never let you down.
Thank you, George. Does anybody have a motion then?
I move that we nominate George White to be second vice president.
And I second that motion.
Okay, so we had Tracy with the motion. Who second?
Bishop.
Bishop seconded.
Okay.
Now, this is for the members only to vote on. So all in favor for George White to serve as our second vice chair through the end of the 2018 to 2022 term, whatever day that may be, which I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it'll be sometime in December, I'm told. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear no response. Therefore, motion carries. George, congratulations. You are now our second vice chair.
And let it be noted, I voted for myself.
Being humble the way you are.
That's really cute.
Well, thank you, George. This is well earned. I know that, from just watching you and knowing you. So I'm honored that you are now part of the officers as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So just briefly, I wanted to introduce, even though they announced themselves at the roll call, the members who ran, again, quote, unopposed, unquote, who are going to be joining the Central Committee in December when they're sworn in. So first, I'm going to go district by district here. And we'll start with Ed Kreiser in 6. Where are you, Ed?
I'm right here.
All right. Is there anything you would like to say?
Not much other than I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to working with the rest of the Central Committee moving forward for the next 4 years. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Satish, where are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
And please forgive me on how to pronounce your last name.
Chapagai.
Okay.
It's easy.
And you will be from what it will be District 7A.
7A.
Would you want to tell us a little bit about yourself real quick?
My name is Satish. I'm from Nepal. And right now I'm here in Perihal, 7 Court nearby. And I don't have much to say today.
It's okay.
But this is new experience for me. And I'll just take a look here and happy to be here. I just want to say that. Thank you.
Okay. And up next, we have Kim Ross. Wherever Kim is, before she starts, I would like to just acknowledge the fact that she may have the cutest daughter on the planet, just so everyone knows. And, I'd like to think of my kids as being very cute. But if you were to see her daughter, you would get it. Kim, where are you?
Jason. I'm here. Thanks, Jason. I was just going to say she has some competition from your daughter for that. But sure. Hi, Jason. Hi, everybody. I am Kim Ross, District 8. Glad to be here. I've done work for the Democratic Party for a long time. My political and community engagement started back, I think, probably in 2006. Around the O'Malley Ehrlich years. And I went through the Young Dems. For 2 terms, I was elected. I was the executive vice president, or the vice president of communications on the board there. and worked on campaigns every election year ever since, as communications director for a couple of campaigns, and then on a bunch of street teams, just doing all the usuals, door knocking and, etc. So glad to be here. I've met a couple of folks I see on the screen here, and to George, great to see you step into the role. I think you'll be a great second vice chair. So nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. Up next, we have Carson Kamenetz. We used to have a county executive by that name, Kamenetz.
Thank you, Jason. Obviously, my father was Kevin Kamenetz, and so politics is really all that I've ever known. And supporting Democrats has really been what I've grown up doing. And I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to have just finished my first election and campaign. But more importantly, I'm happy to meet all of you and be here with you guys and learn and absorb as much as I can and really just try to help the people of the county and the Democratic Party. I look forward to doing so. So thank you.
Thank you. And Carson will be from 11A. He said that at the beginning, but just to reiterate, 11A.
Yep.
And up next we have 3 people, I believe, from 11B. Starting with, we'll go with Reese Peak, wherever you are, Reese.
Hey, Jason. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Reese Peak. I live in District 11B. I live closer to the Hunt Valley section of the district, and I'm really looking forward to serving. I've spent looking forward to taking that experience and moving to here. Been a Baltimore County resident my entire life, and thank you so much.
And I met Reese back in 2017 or 18 as he was, I believe, managing Carl Jackson's campaign, and I was helping door knock for them. So Reese has been around for a while there too. Up next, we have Noel Levy. Noel?
Hello, can you hear me?
Do you have
Yes.
anything, any questions for the Central Committee?
Yes. Am I to understand we don't get sworn in till December?
That is my understanding. The terms were extended 6 months.
What's up with that?
Well, it's to make sure that everybody has a soft landing for the new Central Committee, so they see how things are going, as opposed to being thrown into the chaos that is about to be brought on during the next 6 months, from the state fair to the unity dinner, then following all the way down to the general election.
So
Linda, real quick, Linda, George is reporting that Scott Holupka is in the room.
All righty, thank you.
Sorry, Noel, go ahead.
Well, the next question would be, am I expected to attend all the meetings between now and December?
Glad you asked that question. Yes,
Yes,
I'm glad we're clear about that.
yes,
we would
everyone.
like everyone to attend. We encourage attendance because we have a lot of things going on and there's a lot to get done. And of course, again, because the 6 months is intended to be, when I say 6 months, maybe 5 months, is intended to be more of a training ground for the next Central Committee. So up next, then we have Emma. Where are you, Emma?
Can I just say one thing? Even though many people introduce themselves as guests who were elected, immediately following this meeting, I'm adding you to the attendance list, and tonight is your first documented attendance. We have attendance requirements, and you need to review the Central Committee expectations, all of you who are new, to see what those are, as well as read our bylaws, so you'll know you have to attend the majority.
And there'll be a welcome package is really what that's about.
Yes.
But it will be applicable to not just those who are the quote unquote unopposed ones, but the ones that will advance through following certification of the election on Friday.
Yeah. So you'll get another email from me.
Right. So Emma, sorry, where are you, Emma?
Hi, yeah, I'm Emma Matthews. I've lived in Northern Baltimore County my whole life, and my parents have always been in some way of service to their community or their fellow person. And my mom, eventually, she's a minister. So, yeah, I've been a Sunday school teacher. I volunteered for a lot of things. And I've been mostly heavily involved, like in the last several years, in criminal justice reform. So more like I actually see some progressives that I've seen around in the audience now. And I'm just looking forward to serving.
Well, thank you, Emma. And finally, we have Matthew. Where are you? Or Matt? Do you go by Matt or Matthew?
Yes, Matthew Reesner, Matt, whatever you call me, don't call me late for dinner.
Right.
So my background, I worked as started a community association and worked in around Catonsville quite a bit as far as getting things that the community needs, including Ingleside sidewalks, the sound barriers on the Beltway, etc. My professional background, I work in research. I work in research regulation, and yeah, I'm excited to help out the party and get some things going.
All right. And Matthew's in 44A. Well, what will be the new 44A?
Exactly. Yeah. I think I am 2 blocks over the line.
Yeah.
I know what that feels like. So
Can I ask?
Go ahead.
Can I ask just one thing? For those of you who are brand new, because all the rest of them have already seen each other for the last 4 years, if you're new and we don't know who you are, could you turn on your video for just a second so that because we're going to be having these virtual meetings for a long time, it would be helpful to know who the other people are. Thank you, Matthew, for turning it on for a second. Thank you.
All right. So now we can move on to the vacancy nominations. The first order of business is the District 6 vacancy. There are 2 people applying. There was a technological snafu of sorts, which delayed receipt of one applicant's information. So the District 6 folks were unable to schedule and come up with a recommended nominee in time for this meeting. But our bylaws require us to have that within 45 days of the date of resignation. So because we do not have that tonight in place due to that technological issue, and also the extension of the meeting from last Tuesday to this Tuesday caused by the election, we will need to do something with the 45-day rule in our bylaws. That is, we'll need to look to suspend it or try to figure out another way around our bylaws to make sure that there's compliance. So does anybody have any ideas or motions at this time?
Can I move that we suspend that element of the bylaws for the District 6 nominee?
Vacancy.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I second it.
I heard George. So Linda, Tracy, then George.
Yes.
And just to be clear for those who are new before we take this vote, we do not like to suspend bylaws with any regularity. The only time we do is when there are emergency or other circumstances that require some deviation from the bylaws. For example, like when we had the pandemic. This is yet another one which is prompted by the election plus, again, the technological issue that was encountered. So with that in mind, all in favor of suspending the 45-day rule so that the District 6 vacancy can be fulfilled outside the 45-day window, but still comply with the state party requirement of being filled within 90 days, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Who's abstaining?
Me.
You're abstaining. Okay. And then one abstention. Otherwise, the motion passes. All right. So District 6, then, we do not give you 45 days to go get us everything scheduled. If you can try to schedule the interviews sometime this week or next week so that we can then bring this up at the August meeting. Yes, we will be having an August meeting, folks. That will satisfy all the requirements then.
Jason,
Yes.
yes, I'm glad you mentioned that for it to get done as soon as possible.
Yes.
So
When
that's,
we deviate from the bylaws, it should not be to hold it open forever and a day. It should be to still try to comply as close as
absolutely,
possible.
as soon
with
as
the bylaw.
possible. Absolutely. For those of you who don't know, my name is Danny Blount and I am the chair of the bylaws committee.
All right, so I will follow up with the District 6 folks about that. Next, we have District 11. So someone on behalf of District 11 want to introduce the recommended nominee to fill the vacancy there. Glenda,
Okay.
before we start, Scott Sokol is here.
All right. So I'd like to introduce our District 11 nominee. We did have an opportunity to interview two outstanding candidates whose backgrounds were remarkably similar. And we, under these circumstances, had to make a choice of one over the other. But because both of them have got a really, really extensive background working with Baltimore County, working with campaigns and so forth, we're going to put one forward as our District 11 nominee, and his name is Cornell Smith. Cornell Smith has been working in Baltimore County for a very long time with various entities. If you attended the African American Cultural Festival last year, you heard him given much credit by our county executive and several other people, because that event, which has a 20,000 person attendance, was put together very quickly, and it required the skills of somebody with excellent logistic skills, because those of us that went know how well it went. And Cornell was very much at the heart of pulling that off, and not just for the first time. In addition to that, he says that he goes around throughout the year putting on various community events, movie nights and other things to keep people fully engaged with African American Cultural Festival and other kinds of entities. So, but he belongs to a number of different organizations. I think the Rotary Club, the Masons. He's been out there working on campaigns for a long time. And so, Cornell, would you like to speak on your own behalf?
Well, I think you said it very, very well, Linda, but just so you guys can hear from me, I'm Cornell Smith, like you heard, District 11. I've been, living in Baltimore County pretty much since I've been in Maryland. And like Linda said, the festivals have been the most recent thing I worked on. I was a chief election judge the other day, so you guys are welcome. But yeah, I look forward to working with everybody, if you'll have me. And I'm excited to just bring a lot of energy in as a new person that is, ready to go, particularly with the election coming up.
Well, thank you, Cornell.
I'm excited about his fairs and festivals experience, but at the same time, our committee also thought that we were so very impressed by the other person who also has a lot of fairs and festivals experience and doing things like that, working on campaigns. And his name is Mr. Tyrod Haynes. And so since we are still under our current format, we are recommending Mr. Todd Haynes as an associate member.
Okay. So is there a motion concerning Cornell Smith at this time?
Tyrod Haynes.
We're talking about Mr. Smith first.
Mr. Smith, or were you appointed by Speaker Jones for that position that you were doing with the festival?
Not directly. So Speaker Jones appointed the president and the.
We lost your sound.
We lost your sound.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I said not directly. And the president appointed me.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, is there any motion now concerning Cornell Smith? Bishop? Oh no, Bishop?
Hello.
Bishop, yeah, we're picking up a lot of sounds. And Zoom is blaming you.
Okay, so who is making the motion?
Preferably someone from District 11.
I see Tracy's hand going up.
All right, Tracy, make the motion that we accept the nomination or the recommended nomination to fill the vacant spot within District 11 through the end of the 2018 to 2022 term.
What Jason said.
Thank you.
And I will second what Jason said.
Thank you.
And I was on the committee that interviewed Mr. Smith, and he was very impressive.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear no response and see no response, so therefore the motion carries, and welcome Mr. Smith to the Central Committee, at least through the end of this term.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I'm next going to turn to District 12. Is somebody going to be speaking on behalf of District 12 to introduce their recommended nominee?
I'm happy to come forward. We interviewed Dr. Judy LeKind yesterday evening, and she brings to the table some incredible strengths. She's been a lifelong Democrat and believes in all the values that Democrats have, and she has done some political work. I can vouch for her work on Eric's campaign, and also she had done a fundraiser for Kathleen Kennedy Townsend many years ago. But I think her real strength is in the civics area. She has been she runs her own business. She has been a project manager. She has run grants. She is extensively published. She has done extensive presentations, and her focus in these days is primarily, it looks like it's public health and environment. But I don't want to steal her thunder. I would really like to give Judy a chance. She's very humble, but Judy, I think you can come forward and share some of your experiences with the group.
Oh, thanks so much, Tara. That was a really lovely introduction, and I do think you captured it really well. I would be honored to work with the group for the remainder of this term. I know that the upcoming election is extremely important, and would like to be able to help in whatever way I can to make sure that we stay blue.
Is there anything else?
Well, she had told me that she has this writing experience, and I think having someone with that level of experience, and she's done a lot of presentations. Her resume was like pages and pages of presentations and publications, and I think that's a nice skill to bring to the table. I think that's something we could really use. So, do I get to make a motion now?
You do.
Okay, I'm going to move that Dr. Judy LeKind will be a member of the District 12 Central Committee team.
I would like
for the remainder of the 2018 to 2022 term.
Yes, all of that.
I would like to second that motion that the very thoughtful Judy LeKind join us in our efforts.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear no and see no response. Therefore, motion carries. Welcome, Dr. LeKind as well.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Smith and Dr. LeKind, I'm going to have to give you make you take an oath on the spot here. So if you don't mind, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Cornell Smith,
Do swear or affirm
Do swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution and laws thereof.
And
and
support
support the Constitution and the laws thereof,
And that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the
to the
best
best
of my
of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the office
execute
the office
of member of the Democratic State Central Committee of Maryland.
the member of the Central Committee, Democratic
State Central Committee of Maryland,
Central Committee of Maryland,
according to the Constitution and bylaws of this state.
according to the Constitution and bylaws of the state.
Now, what is your social security number and bank account? No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations to you guys. Welcome. You are now members. Thank you for stepping up. I know that there's not a lengthy term necessarily, but it is still important that you guys have done what you have done and come to join us, especially in a time of need during an election cycle. So thank you. And well, welcome to the team.
Thank you. High five, Judy.
All right. So now we have that bit of business out of the way. While we were sitting here, Katie informed me that the next state meeting will be December 17th. So for all of you who will be part of the next Central Committee, the 2022 to 26 Central Committee, please put that on your calendar, December 17th. More details to follow. That is the day that everyone who is part of the new 22 to 26 committee will be sworn in. All right. Up next, we have Christine Brooks Cropper. Where are you, Christine?
I'm here.
There we go.
How is everyone?
Welcome
Thank you.
back.
Thanks for having me. I kind of went over to the office and realized I was in the parking lot by myself.
You were not the only one. Actually, as it turns out, there were multiple people who did, and I appreciate you all checking up on the office to make sure it's still in good condition.
It was still there, right?
It's still there and locked up.
Okay.
I couldn't get in. I was trying to get in, but I couldn't. But anyway, congratulations to everyone. Gotten sworn in. Congratulations to everyone that ran, did a good campaign and very successful. So I just want to start off by saying congratulations to everyone. So to those that don't know me, I'm Christine Brooks Cropper. I'm the regional organizer for Baltimore with the Maryland Democratic Party. So what's going on now? We're pretty much gearing up for the statewide coordinated efforts. Just want to put out there, I don't know if you received the flyer or any type of memo, but we're going to have the post-primary rally in downtown Silver Spring on August 1st. That is going to be at Veterans Plaza from 6 to 8. Pretty much a lot of the nominees are confirming that they are going to be there. It's kind of going to be our kickoff, I would say, to get the message out, the branding out, for us to unify, come together as one, and pretty much kind of kick off our statewide coordinated efforts. So, we're going to have a DJ there. DJ Jealousy from 95.5 is going to be there. So it's going to be very festive for us to just get some good energy around what we need to do to turn entire state of Maryland blue by November 8th. So what else is going on? August 2nd is the first, I would say, kind of effort that we've done phone banking. So those that need to sign up, you can go to marylanddems.org or you can reach out to me. I gave you my email and my cell number, and I can put that in the chat area again if you want me to sign you up. But we're going to be doing a all in blue diversity leadership council phone banking on that Tuesday, which is August 2nd from 6 to 8:30. And what else do we have going on? There's so much just going on. I've been calling probably 1,000 people a week. So if any want to sign up for the coordinated effort with the party, please do. I know that the Central Committee, all the committees that, Howard County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and everywhere else in the state of Maryland will be doing their local coordinated efforts, but we all will be working as one and together. So please keep me aware of what's going on. I know Jason and I had talked about where the office will be, so I'm assuming it's going to be your DCC office now, because I know it was kind of up in the air that it would be Peter's office, but that didn't happen. So therefore, we will, I'm assuming, coordinating out of that office space or virtually. So please keep me aware of that, because I know some like Howard County, and I haven't heard from them yet. In Baltimore City, they don't have a coordinated office yet. Space. So please keep me aware of that, and anything that's going on. Please add me to all newsletters, all communication that's going out. I want us to be kind of speaking as one, moving as one for these efforts going forth. It will be probably, for me, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, starting, I say, August 15th to November 8th, so that we can get Westmore in as governor, and everybody that is running for a seat, that it's going to be all Democrats. So, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to share.
Just wanted to say the message that you mentioned about the rally for August 1st, I'm going to be sending everyone on this call that material immediately after this meeting. So
Thank
look
you.
for it before the night is over. Look for it in your email so that you can sign up for it.
Okay. And I'll put my information in the chat as well if you want to sign up for any phone banking. I know everyone will kind of be doing theirs from the local level, but again, if you can jump on, if you have free time when we do our phone banking every Tuesday from 6 to 8:30, please jump on. Again, you can register at mddems.org, or you can text me and I can sign you up as well. And we'll be doing a lot. We'll be door knocking, canvassing, caravan. I mean, it's going to be on. So get ready, everyone. I expect everyone to be there, and we do this as a party.
You do know Linda is the caravan queen here, right? She runs this show.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, my garage still says that. Because all that stuff is there.
Excellent.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining us.
No
and
problem.
Look forward to you joining us every month from now until, well, you know what? You're welcome to join us from now to the end of time. I'm not going to just limit it to this election cycle.
Okay. Well, I live
But we'll
in
start with
Baltimore County
this election
too,
cycle.
so.
What's that?
I said I live in Baltimore County too, so you never know. You might see me running for something in the near future.
All right.
Good.
So thank you yet again. And again, people, if you want to get active, obviously Christine is the right person who will direct you in the right spots.
Yes.
So, all right. Moving on to, well, I have it written down as general election issues. So in reviewing some things with respect to the primary, it came clear to me that there were some things that we needed to get straightened in-house before the general election hits, because we're going to have a lot to do. Not only, I'm sure, are many of us here going to be volunteering for individual campaigns, but you also just heard about the coordinated campaign, which is going to be a lot more of what we wind up doing. But we need to also have a more organized approach as to how we're going to efficiently take back the governor's mansion and make sure that all of our incumbent Democrats or new elected or newly minted nominees become the elected officials. So the first thing that came pretty clear was, I think we need to establish a position for the next 6 months of a volunteer coordinator, which is going to be different than what we've done in the past. Because in the past, it's been a mix of people, checking emails. Sometimes, somebody makes a return call and somebody thinks another person's making a return call. I think we need to have one person who is designated as sort of the person directing that traffic, so to speak. So if someone sends in a volunteer form, we need to have that information uploaded and someone following up with that person, within 24 hours of us getting it. So if anybody would like to be the volunteer coordinator or nominate someone for the volunteer coordinator, this would be the appropriate time to do so. Before we start that, to answer Cheryl's question, yes, Linda said that she wanted to nominate someone for an associate position. I do not see Tyrod here, so I think it's fair to have him speak beforehand.
Yeah.
But Linda and I could catch up on that in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I had sent him something, so kind of surprised. All right. No, I was going to say before we do that, I keep hearing the bell ring, the doorbell ring. So are there additional people who have entered the meeting that weren't here during the roll call or immediately thereafter? Do you see any additional people?
Yeah, Linda, it's mostly been people coming back in just as the person
exited
letting
out,
them in.
came back in. Mhm. Okay, good.
All right, so going back to volunteer coordinator, is there anybody who is willing to step up and take that challenge on? Because again, we need someone to make sure that they are following up and directing the traffic. So we know that we have X amount of people to do rides to the polls and someone's coordinating those things. It's going to be distinct from party building because a lot was put on Liz in 2020 to handle all of it. So it'd be ideal to split that to make sure there's one person dealing with the volunteers as best as possible.
Let's not rush all at once.
Yes, this has to get done.
So
I see Cornell's thing might be
I don't mind stepping up to help, but I'm, very new, like 10 minutes. So I would like some help with that. Since nobody else that really wants to do it, then I can, try to make it.
You will have help from Linda and myself for sure, and I'm sure Liz too, but you're the one who's going to maintain a list to make sure that whatever information we receive about a volunteer, that it's entered into the system and that someone's following up with them to make sure that it hasn't gone 3 months until they get a return call or an email. That's really what it's about. And even if you're not the one necessarily following up with all them, that you're checking it off that someone has.
Right. Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Because sometimes it will get convoluted because Katie will receive an email or Linda will receive a phone call or then someone will text me and then we think that someone else is, oh, okay, well, this person's already taking care of that. It's to make sure that whatever gets done.
Okay. Yep.
So it's basically backing up everybody and making sure that volunteers have interaction.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you, Cornell.
No
And
problem.
if you ever questions with it, of course, you don't hesitate to contact myself or anyone else here to help. But we do need somebody who's going to at least maintain that list
Okay.
and take those actions.
And then while I'm on the mic, do we have like a directory or like as new members, do we?
Oh, that's coming. That's the packet of materials that everyone will receive that just got elected. You're going to get a whole group of things. Mhm.
Okay. Thanks.
So thank you for that. Another thing, as everyone knows, is near and dear to my heart, but voter protection and election security issues. I believe that we're going to need to have a bunch of people, of course, at polls during this cycle. I believe that we're going to need to have people at the ballot canvases this cycle, having witnessed, and Linda can also verify this, some level of insanity at times up at the Board of Election during this year's primaries canvas.
Can you say QAnon?
I think QAnon would actually establish some basis we can all understand where it was coming from, at least, because I had no idea where one in particular was coming from.
Please, otherworldly.
Yes. But let's just put it like this. There were several people who believed that everything was a conspiracy, and they were there to uncover it all. And there was fraud, and there was this, and anybody who says they're Republican is really an undercover Democrat.
Yeah, don't forget the microchips too.
And apparently can spot Democrats just by the color of your skin. So on that note, the fact of the matter is we need people there to monitor this, to serve as witnesses, to make sure people aren't going to be harassed or intimidated or prevented from voting. We will see an uptick in this, I'm confident, compared to 2020. And so we need trained poll watchers, much like we had last time, training sessions for poll watching. We're going to need to do that again. I plan to reach out to the candidates to go over these issues with them, because we're going to have to share resources as a whole.
Yes.
But we are there for one another.
Mr. Chair, George White, I'd like to be added to that list of voter protection when you put it together, because like you mentioned, it's going to be a circus out there with false information.
Yeah.
And we definitely will need a point of reference where people can call in and kind of clear up any issues. So you can count me in on that voter protection.
And this applies to maintaining phones and other communications to combat the misinformation ahead of the election, and to make sure people understand what options they have in order to vote, what it means if you request a ballot and then decide you want to show up at the polls. All that stuff is going to be something that we're going to have to boil down and make it simple and get that message out there to others. So yes, thank you, George.
And just as a point of clarification, you don't absolutely have to be a member of the Central Committee to serve on our committees. So even if you haven't been sworn in yet, or even if you weren't a person that ran, but you're on this call, you can serve on the committees. And you can also, Christine was mentioning earlier, the diversity leadership caucuses. You can also serve on the diversity leadership caucuses that the state has. And George is he's one of the co-leaders of the senior diversity leadership caucus, but there are at least a dozen of them. So for those of you who just got elected and want to get your feet wet, especially if this is a new experience for you, go on to the state site and look up some of those diversity leadership caucuses. And if some of them apply to you because you're a veteran or something like that, or if you want to stay closer to home and you want to have an active role with one of the committees, please speak up.
And to build off one quick point, and then I'll go to Sharonda, then Danny. We talked to, and Linda just said, you don't have to be a member of the Central Committee to serve on these committees or volunteer otherwise. Back in 2020, we had about 60 to 65 voter protection volunteers and poll watchers. And we had other people who were there to answer phones and also help volunteer with rides to the polls and all these other things. We're always looking for people for these things. And Cornell, this is where it comes back to you on that. But let's go to Sharonda. You have a question.
Well, I just wanted to say I would like to help with the voter protection. I have done that before with Common Cause Maryland. And I also look at poll places for accessibility, since I'm a certified ADA coordinator, because a lot of times there can be hazards where it's preventing people that have disabilities getting to the polls. So I would love to help with that.
Not to mention, I found that the poll I was primarily at was entirely confusing, because they have one of BCPS's learning cottages directly in front of the door that people would need to use to get into the polling site. So people kept trying to climb the stairs to get into the trailer instead of actually going to the polling site. And that was a foreseeable, future problem for some.
Yeah, I'm glad you spoke up about that. That's definitely a skill set that we need, especially since we heard from at least 2 different folks that were disabled blind, and they requested transportation services, and there were others as well. So we can't ignore the fact that 10% of the US population needs that very service in order to exercise their franchise. So.
All right, Danny, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, and I think it was 2020 when we did this, Jason, the voter protection. I think everyone in each district needs to volunteer, because each district You have a early voting place, you have the polls, you have all these things that are right in your district, and that's why you signed up to become a member of the Central Committee. It's very important that you get active in that regards. Voter protection is very, very important. I think I spoke with you, Jason, last time about the fact that before the mail-in ballots was really taking off, a lot of people were coming in person. So one of the things that were occurring was when folks were coming in to vote, older seniors, they had to stand in long lines and they didn't have seating areas for them. So we had to make them do that out at the Randallstown Community Center for the early voting. So it's a lot of things that are really necessary for the voters to have assistance with. I just think that the voter protection is very, very important. You can sign me up with that as I did last time, Jason. But all of us as a committee need to really understand, what our positions are on the committee and really get involved and take advantage of the training and all these different things that are available to us so that we can be, representatives of our Central Committee. We have one of the best Central Committees in the state. So just get involved, guys. That's why you're here.
Thank you, Danny. Dr. Grant.
Hey, thank you for bringing this up. And I thank Christine for answering my question, because during the 2020 election cycle, there were several trainings that were offered from the Maryland State Democratic Party for election protection volunteers. And I would be thrilled to help again with this effort. I would also, as a guest, share the information with my Democratic friends who are not as involved with the party, and to get them involved as well, because we never know what's coming at us with the deviousness of the other folks. So sign me up also.
Well, thank you. Okay, I see Christine, you have your hand up.
Wait a minute. Okay. Yes, I was just answering the question. I just want to make sure everyone knew it was in the chat. Bradley Knott is our new voter protection director. He was just hired right before the primary. So any training that needs to be scheduled, anything in regards to that, please send that to him. That is his job. He's on it. He's well experienced. I mean, he lived in Kensington, Maryland. I mean, his resume is impressive. He went out with his business, I want to say Idaho or Ohio, and he did all that, but now he's back in Maryland where he's from. So that's who will be taking care of all those efforts. So definitely direct all your questions to him. He's on it. Okay.
And I had lunch with him this past Friday.
Oh, excellent.
And I've
So
been
you
on the
met
phone
him.
with him fairly regularly, much to his dismay, I'm sure. For the
Good,
last 2
good.
weeks. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So all questions with that goes to him.
All
we
right.
are we are ready.
Sorry.
We
Yes,
are
indeed.
ready.
Indeed. And really what this is about is making sure everybody has the free and fair chance to go vote. And frankly, it applies to everybody. It's not just Democrats, it's everybody. We don't want to restrict anybody from being able to vote that's legally eligible to vote. So, all right, George, I see your hand up.
Oh yeah, just to kind of reiterate, we mentioned about the diversity leadership councils at the state level, but just for the record, we have 9 diversity councils. We have Asian American Council, African American Council, Continental African Council, Latino, LGBTQ Council, People with Disability Council, Progressive Diversity Council, Senior Diversity Council, which I'm the vice chair of that council, and the Veterans Council. So there's a lot of areas where we can participate on the state level, if you like.
Okay. Thank you, George. Oki, you're up next.
Jason, hello. Question for Christine. Do you have a contact information for the gentleman you mentioned as a POC for the product protection?
Brad Knott? Well, here's what we'll do is, what we'll do is we're going to organize it by the county. So I can contact you, send me your contact information where you want to either send it through the chat or otherwise get it to me. And then we're going to have a big training one day, relatively, I don't know when it's going to be scheduled, but soonish. We also relatedly want to do something similar when it comes to voter registration, which we will coordinate with the Board of Elections once we're past the primary cycle to get someone from the Board of Elections in so we can start doing some more voter registration. So as long as I get your contact information, you'll be covered. I'll make sure you get involved in part of that too. Okay.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
All right.
Chris,
Anybody else? I see Cornell, you're talking.
oh yeah, I said Christine did put it in the chat, just so you know, Jason.
Okay, she did put it in the chat.
Yes. I clicked on that link. It took me to the website.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, though,
Yes.
for.
But we
pointing
will
that
be
out.
doing one in the county for sure. And, if I have some ideas as to how I want this to go down with some of the campaigns as well. We'll see how much of that comes to fruition or if there would be other alternatives offered. But I believe we'll have certainly multiple voter protection training sessions, and we'll also do the voter registration certifications. All right, up next is Mark Weaver.
I was just going to say, sign me up too. I did it last time. It sounds good.
I'll tell you, it was pretty cool to see that as soon as I spoke about that, to see Danny, Mark, and Leslie, all people who were there in 2020, reiterate their commitment to this. So thank you all. And there are plenty of others too, but thank you guys. All right. So moving on from there, the coordinated campaign, as you heard from Christine, I anticipate we'll be working out of our office here in Towson, our normal office. So a lot of the opportunities are going to be driven from that office. That may require people to go to the Towson office to get some of the trainings, to also participate in some of the phone banking and other activities as well. I see Dr. Tolson indicates she'll help as well. Thank you, Dr. Tolson.
No problem.
So does anybody have any question about the coordinated campaign then? And what's going to happen in our office? And I hear one of my kids coming down the stairs trying to sneak up on me. See? All right. I hear no other response there, so we can move on. Then I see Noel saying he's in. Thank you, Noel. I know you were very instrumental with the putting out with all the signs. You were one of my go-to people for that, along with Bonnie. So thank you. All right. Now we can move on. Oh, Liz says Jeff Bonner is here, Linda.
Okay.
I think I missed that.
Mhm.
So sorry, Jeff, wherever you are. I assume you're not flying a plane right now.
Yes, that is correct. I thought I responded during the initial roll call there, but perhaps it was.
Yeah, I have him in. I have
Okay.
him already.
Okay, well, he's here twice.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank
That
you.
was my mistake then. I'm sorry. I didn't, I was trying to, yeah.
I appreciate your commitment by showing up twice.
Well, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Sure. We can move on to subcommittee reports. Why don't we start, because I know Unity Dinner will be a little longer, and I'm sure bylaws will be a little longer. So why don't we start with Liz with the party building?
Right. Okay. And for those of you who are new, well, first of all, I'm Liz, and I'm first vice chair, and also I lead party building. And party building, the committee for party building does and can do a number of things related to, of course, building and growing the Baltimore County Democratic Party. It could be anything from voter registration to reaching out to first-time voters through postcards, canvassing, or whatever. Social events, just all kinds of different things can go into it, as well as working with those of us who also study the data and everything, and trying to just kind of figure out, the best way to grow the party. So that said, we are moving from the primary where, we're supporting all the different candidates, and now we have our nominees, or mostly anyway. There's still some races that are being counted, but at any rate, we're ready to move forward into the next phase of the whole election toward the general. So we'll be rebooting the committee to get going on this new phase. And I want to invite any of the new folks, as well as, of course, all the remaining members of the committee to participate. And we should get going soon with the meeting in the next couple of weeks. Of course, it's summer. It's hard to get people together. We always have a hard time to, coming up with the best day or night to have the meeting. But I just wanted to put that out there with a call for members. And we also like to have all the different districts covered, so that we can work as a whole for the whole county, but also kind of focus in on the different districts' needs. So that is my plea or my call to all of you to participate. And you can let me know in the chat, or I can also give you my email, and if you want to contact me that way to get going on joining the committee. So anyway, I'm happy to take any questions, but again, this is more of a, we're changing to a new phase and ready to get going.
Thank you, Liz. Anybody have any questions for Liz?
Was this fundraising or events committee?
Sorry?
Was it for fundraising or for events?
That party building has its own events.
Okay, is that what she's, okay, party building, okay.
Yeah, we're building the party. You can have parties to build a party, and you can have parties to do fundraising. So sorry if I was being confusing there, but yeah, it's the general building up of the party and making it bigger and stronger than ever in Baltimore County.
Mm-hmm.
I see Ann George has her hand raised.
Hi, I have met in the last week during the campaigning and electioneering. 3 people have given me their name, number, and email who would like to get more involved. What is the best way to direct that? One was interested in becoming a central committee member, and I've just found out today that she's in 11B, which I think now has no openings. But where should we do? What is there a central place where we can? Because a lot of people, I think, are going to be wanting to get more interested. Look at how many new faces we have tonight. This is wonderful.
So Cornell,
I can speak to this. We have an NGP van, and we keep all our contacts in that. So basically, if you would forward everything to me, I can add it to our database, and I can also put a note in there of what they want to be doing, and we can add them to our list.
And then Cornell will make sure that these people are followed up with, whether he does it personally or just that he confirms that it's been done.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and I'll work closely with Cornell, and I'll show him how the database works and all that. So I will be in touch with Cornell.
Right. So Cornell, he's good. All right. Cool.
I would just like to say that I think it's really important that somebody other than the referring person comes back to them and say, timely way, here are some ways you could help, or this is what is opening, what was open.
Well, I think as long as someone is following up with them, but that needs to happen, and we need to confirm that it happened, so we have people engaged and active.
I mean, not like a week before the November election, you know what I mean, to keep them engaged.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It has to be right away, and we have to identify specific opportunities to volunteer, not just a general, oh, that'd be great if you show up at whatever one day, and it's got to be, here are the things that you could do. Bang, 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 bang. Which ones are you interested in? That kind of stuff.
Okay. Thanks.
That's the best way to maintain volunteer engagement. At least I found. I certainly don't pretend that I'm some expert on that subject or anything else. But if anybody has ideas, of course, let me know. Linda, I hear Tyrod is in the room.
Yes, I saw his name.
Okay. So let's have you introduce Tyrod. For those of you who don't know Tyrod, you may have seen him out at early voting. You may
Yes,
have
I'm
seen him
here.
at the Towson Town Festival. I know that's where I've seen him both of those times.
All right, are you on camera, Tyrod? At any rate, as I said earlier, we interviewed two excellent candidates, backgrounds very, very similar. We had to select one that was going to take on the full position, and that is, you've heard him speak several times during this meeting, Cornell Smith, who has stepped right on up to the bat, to the plate already. Another very exciting person who is also out in the community doing a lot of things in terms of electioneering and so forth, is Mr. Tyrod Haynes. He worked very closely, you see his picture now, he worked very closely with our former chair on her campaign in a leadership capacity with that campaign, and it's going very well if you're paying attention to the numbers as they come in. So Tyrod, we have decided to extend to you a decision about, and people have to vote on it now. We are considering you for the position of an associate member for the remaining time. And so I think, Jason, we're going to let you speak for about a minute if you would like to say something, Tyrod.
Yeah, just to introduce yourself. That's all.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Well, good evening, everybody. I want to say just thank you guys for this opportunity to be part of the committee. As I stated in my interview, I volunteer with you guys quite often throughout the years. I enjoy coming out to participate as much as I can for the party. As you heard, I'm active in my community. I sit on the board. So I just want to continue to be a positive asset to my community, information from the party, also being a help to the party as well. So I thank you guys for just even considering me to be an associated member. Just want to say thank you.
And I could vouch certainly that within the last 2 months of Tyrod's activities, he has been an enormous help, both at the Towson Town Festival and also an enormous help for now candidate Dr. Crystal Francis. So does anybody have any questions for Tyrod?
Oh,
I see
no,
Danny has his hand raised.
I just like to piggyback. Oh, go ahead, Danny. I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, that's all right, my friend. Yes, I can also say that I worked with this young man here. He was very eager. He was out there at the festivals in Towson, also out in Franklin. So yes, he's been a go-getter since I've met him. So he's someone who can be a great asset to our committee. Good seeing you, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
George?
Yeah, same here. Just want to piggyback on what was said so far. Tyrod has been out. He's definitely a mover and a shaker. And as you know, we on the Central Committee are considered the worker bees of the party. And Tyrod has really shown that since I've met him.
Thank you so much.
So is there a motion then at this time?
I move that we accept Tyrod Hayes as a, I lost my mind. It must be
Associate member.
Associate member.
For the
And
2018-2022 term.
Tracy has her hand up.
And I second.
All
Very
right.
good.
So all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say nay. I hear and see no response. Therefore, the motion carries. Welcome, Tyrod. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And I pray to hope I can still continue to be an asset to you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Very good.
Undoubtedly. Now, one question I have, do we give the oath of office? We don't give the oath of office
No.
to the associates. Okay.
No.
You're good there. Now I don't have to stumble on those words. I'll find other words to stumble on. All right. Up next, we will have communications with George.
Oh, yes. Okay. It's me again. I just want to just emphasize the importance of us communicating across the board the way we have been doing. as you know, our communications committee has kind of fallen short of member participants. Only one still kind of hanging around is Katie and Katie Dot, Danny Blanc. Everybody else that ran for office sort of did a ghost moment on us, kind of disappeared, but that's okay. There you have to realize when you take on the position as central committee, no matter what comes up, you still should do your duties that you originally signed up to do. But anyway, I'm just doing an all-out shout for anybody that would like to participate and help us on the communications committee. Still have Danny Blount around, Katie Dye to be around for a minute, Linda, and those that would like to volunteer to help us. Because this coming up on this November, as you know, we have a nominee from the far right, if I'm saying it right. He's from the far right. He's going to bring a lot of red to the state of Maryland. So we need not to have those numbers so overwhelming that they think Maryland will be a place to kind of park their hat. So we definitely going to need a all-out blue in 22. So those that would like to help on the communications committee, along with, we do a lot of posting, okay, on all the social medias, okay, from the Twitters to Instagram, to LinkedIn, to Facebook. And at one time we had those duties kind of split up, but things kind of got out of whack. But I would like those that would like to join us on the communication side, as well as just to help out, because we're going to definitely need everybody on the ground, and information comes in all over the place. So we need a coordinated effort where we can get the information back to us and we can post things that are going on. It's going to be rallies going on around the state of Maryland, and we need to stay focused on those. We may not be able to cover everybody's event, but with volunteers, we'd be able to pick up a little something to bring back to our committee and share with our community. So again, this is just an all-out shout out. And for those that would like to help out communications, just let me know. I'll put my information in the chat. You're willing to call me. I'm an early morning person. I'm up about 5 in the morning. I'm good till about noon. Then I take my siesta, and then I'm back up again at 5 till about 9. So you can kind of reach me in between those hours, and we can kind of move and get things done. But again, thank you. Thank you for the current leadership. Thank you, Jason, for stepping up, Linda and Katie, everybody hanging around. And as you know, we decided as a group to hang around until December with something that, as far as I know, had never been done. Once elections was over, people just sort of disappeared. And you have to, we decided to hang around to December to make this a smooth transition. We have built this party over the last several years to be something really to be recognized. People look at our committee, Baltimore County, as leadership. So we want to keep that going. One thing that has helped us is everybody participates and do what they need to do. So don't take on these jobs and you not show up, because now we have some serious bylaws in effect. So if things don't work out, you can be out the door. So just take heed of what Linda was mentioning. Come to the meetings, state party meetings, and just sort of do what you said you are committed to do. And again, I just thank you for being a part, and welcome.
And I do have an idea as to something we should be doing moving forward regarding some of the candidates on the other side, but you and I can discuss about that after this meeting. We don't need to belabor that here. I do note that Carson Kamenetz has indicated he'll volunteer for communications. I saw his hand raised, and then I saw that he put that in the chat.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm sure he's not the only one, but
Emma had her hand up.
yes, I'm going one by one here. I saw Carson, and then I saw Emma, and then I see Danny. So Emma, is there something that you wanted to add?
No, yeah, communications committee, 100%. I am more of a texter, typer, sharer person, and I'm stuck home a lot. So whatever I can do to help coordinate all that stuff, I love it. Everybody that I know already knows that I post political stuff 24/7, so it's not a problem.
Oh, that's good. And what we do on the communications committee, we have our meeting, so I'll be gathering the names up of those that volunteered, and I'll be reaching out to you for for our little sidebar meeting that we will have so we can kind of coordinate these efforts down the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did someone else say they were a writer also when they were being introduced?
I believe that was Judy. There was something with her background too. And then Ruben has indicated he has some interest in trying to help in this regard as well with communications or graphics and whatnot. But I see Danny has his hand raised, so let's go to Danny.
No, I just wanted to piggyback on what George said about the communications committee. It's really been taken off since George has been involved in kind of like doing all the photos and postings, and it's I mean, if we guys listen, George continue to tell us and shows us why he's on the central committee, and it's really inspiring to me to see how much enthusiasm he has, even though he went through an election and wasn't supported the way he should have been supported by being a stellar guy. How can someone not support George? It's just unbelievable to me. It just breaks my heart because he works so very, very hard. I'm going to stop there because I may say something I shouldn't say. But anyway, I just want you guys to know that the communication committee is a great committee to be a part of, and George does a great job there.
That's right.
I certainly echo the comments about George. He's amazing. He has done everything and more.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he's now our second vice chair, but
Yeah.
also why he received our Advocate of the Year award 2 years ago, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
His first year as a member. Well,
And served as an associate member for almost 4 years or more.
From the beginning.
And kept trying to get on, and then he was selected. So for those persons that didn't make it, or you know people that didn't make it, please let them know that they need to just step up and say, I want to join a committee, and then, you know, just stick with it, because not everyone sticks with it. They use it as a stepping stone, and this is not meant to be a career stepping stone.
All right. So in the interest of time, while Linda and Danny, their points are very well made, and there were plenty of opportunities here to do things and to move ahead and to help numerous candidates in the party in general, and not to mention the people in your own communities and throughout Baltimore County. So let's move on to Linda with the fairs and festivals, though, because we have a state fair coming up. I know that. And we also have the African American Heritage Festival. I know that.
So we have lots of stuff. First of all, I'm Fairs and Festivals chair, and I am so glad that we have some new blood coming on that has lots of experience and know-how and physical strength to help do some of these fairs and festivals. Fairs and festivals start at a very early hour of the morning. Understand that.
Amen.
Okay, I'm looking for many more people to join fairs and festivals, but understand that most of the setup times are around 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, sometimes slightly earlier than that. They're usually on a weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday. So yeah, what you would normally see as your day off, the people on fairs and festivals are out there getting doing the logistics to make sure that we have everything that we need in place. Table and chairs and those large tents and all of the materials to be distributed and the giveaways and so forth. It can be an enormous amount of fun.
Melinda, it makes sense if you explain like some of what we do at the fairs and festivals.
Okay.
I think you've alluded to it, but to explain why we're there.
Okay, what we're there for is to make people in the crowd aware of the mission of the Democratic Party and what we do, our issues, but also to make them aware of the candidates that are running. So we solicit from the various candidates their campaign literature and other kinds of things they may have. Some of them have giveaways to help support their effort. We solicit that. And so, for example, we have the state fair coming up. Normally, the state fair would start the weekend before Labor Day, and it would run the entire week through the next weekend, and then through that weekend to Labor Day itself. For the first time in the history of the state fair, they have changed that format. This year, they're going to start the weekend in advance on August, I think it's 24th. So it's going to be Thursday, Friday.
It's going to be August 25th to the 28th, and then on and on.
So it's going to be 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then they're not going to have anyone out there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they'll reconvene the following Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then no one there, and Sunday. No one's going to be there for the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then for the first time, they've added a third weekend on, and that's going to be after Labor Day, the weekend after Labor Day. Now, to make it a little different and to make it more of a draw, they have actually arranged for a lot of big concert groups and things like that to come out that final weekend. What we've always committed ourselves to are the first and the second, that Labor Day weekend, the days leading up to it, and that weekend. I'm not sure whether we're going to still be there the following weekend because that was something unplanned. The state party has already purchased a space, and we are going to hopefully have the same space that we did before. They're going to take a leadership role in trying to get some of the candidates that prevailed, statewide contests and so forth, to come out and have volunteers from their campaigns. But you don't have to just be from the Democratic State Central Committee here in Baltimore County or one of those candidate staff. If you are a member of a Democratic club or just a friend of someone that's a Democrat that's associated with the Central Committee, we invite you to sign up. You'll see a schedule will be circulated later on for you to sign up for that particular event. And that's a lot of coverage because it goes on for many hours each day. And so that's going to be a total of 12 days altogether, 4 days times 3 times. And so 12 days coverage altogether. We give giveaways away as well as material. People come up and ask for information about candidates, but know this, and I'm going to emphasize this. You are the first point of contact for many of those people out in the public. While many people here worked on various campaigns, from this day forward, if you are affiliated with the Baltimore County State Central Committee or any other Central Committee in Maryland, we are there to promote the official party nominees. So I understand that everyone put in a lot of time and a lot of effort supporting their own campaigns and other people's campaigns. But now we must speak with one voice, and that first line of contact in many cases is out there with the fairs and festivals. The other thing is we have an African American Heritage Festival coming up on September 17th. And that is going to be on a Saturday, and Mr. Cornell Smith is an integral part of helping organize that. And so we are going to have a presence there as well. We had a very nice space the last time, and lots of people came over, not just to collect information, but they also came over to take pictures with our life-size cutouts of the Obamas and also the current president and vice president. So we had a lot of fun there, but it's also serious work. Sometimes you have challenging people come up to you and you have to maintain your cool. We have other events that are coming up as well. One of the things that we learned about a little kind of late, and it's kind of difficult to contact them this year, more so than other years. Normally, we would also staff the Latino Festival. That's coming up on August 7th. Saturday, August 7th. So if there are people who are willing to do some walkthrough with candidates, I'm still going to share that information. I've already shared that information with some of the candidates. We haven't got a table or booth there at this point. I don't know that we can, and because they are quite expensive for that particular festival. But in the last time that we had Democratic candidate, that candidate did a walkthrough literally to every single table and booth. And so we may be supporting our gubernatorial candidate in doing so, and some of the others that may be interested. In addition to that, one of the things that we do for people who you heard earlier, how do we keep people that express interest in being volunteers fully engaged? We got involved in doing car caravans, sine waves. We were out there in every section of Baltimore County. I think we had, 30 sine waves and car caravans inside of a week or a week and a half. So it was a really incredible effort. We managed to pull it off. We had people from every part of Baltimore County, I mean, even folks from up in the Hereford area got engaged in that. And so, we're going to see how much of that we can do this year. It's a little bit different because of the pandemic and people having to take more safety precautions. But I think that we will be able to do at least a large part of it. Please step forward and volunteer. Be part of the sine waves. Be part of the car caravans. Be fully engaged in this. This is a good opportunity to wet your feet if you're new and you really want to have more than just meeting virtually like this. We do, as Danny said, we're one of the more active central committees in the whole state of Maryland. And last year, when we did all those sine waves and car caravans, I think we were the only ones doing all of that the last gubernatorial race. So there's one other thing, and you know that I'm going to talk about it. One of the initiatives that we voted to support as a Democratic Party back in the fall is something that I chair called 4 More for Baltimore County, and that is to change our Baltimore County government to make it more inclusive, bring in more opportunities for women, minorities, young people. Many of these young people here may want to have an opportunity to run for county council, but there aren't enough seats. If we add more seats, 4 more seats, and raise it up to 11, you'll have that opportunity. So if you also want to engage as a volunteer, supporting that effort to gather the names to put it on the ballot, we are many people, Ann, George, Liz, many people on here, Tracy, have been very much engaged in that effort. Danny, George, about at least half the people on the screen have been engaged in that effort. And part of the reason I apologize for being so late in getting the material to you, but you may have seen some advertisements and interviews given on WBAL and several television stations recently about 4 More, and I had to take 4 different interviews today for about 4 More. So please come help us. That's also part of our initiative.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Linda. We're going to move on to the Unity Dinner, and we'll have Danny batting. I guess you'll be the closer, Danny. All right. So for the Unity Dinner, that's our annual fundraiser. The past 2 years, we did it virtually. This is the first year that we will be in person since 2019. It's called the Unity Dinner for obvious reasons. We are going to come together, and I'm going to once again, throw heaps of credit onto Linda for coming up with the sub-theme for this year's Unity Dinner of 50 Shades of Blue. Because we are all together as one, and we don't all have to think alike on all things at all times, or even agree on all candidates at all times. But we have a mission, and we have certain things that we need to accomplish together as a team. And this year, certainly, we need to think about the candidates that we have and getting the governor's mansion again back to being a Democratic. In this case, now Wes Moore. I was about to say a Democratic candidate, but we already know who that'll be. So make it Wes Moore, and Brooke Learman, a comptroller, and to reelect Chris Van Hollen, and to reelect Johnny O Jr., and to go on down the list. So the bottom line is we need a lot of help when it comes to the Unity Dinner. For example, we need to sell a bunch of tickets. We try to sell tables and sponsorships. We're trying to do a silent auction, but I think It seems that most people are emphasizing the word silent because I haven't heard too many people chime in with any gifts to give for the silent auction quite yet. So any help that you could give toward the Unity dinner in advance when it comes to planning or whatever else, that would be great. If you can't help with that, coming to the event on the day of to help at the event is also ideal. For example, every Unity dinner, when I've been on the Central Committee, I've just shown up on Thursday when the Unity dinner is at around 4 o'clock to help set up and everything else, because I can't commit in advance on a Thursday what my schedule may be. But as soon as I was available, I would show up to make sure I was there to help put out place cards and to help put on tablecloths and, you know, give out, you know, the name tags and whatever else it takes. I would sat out there one year by myself for the most part, just watching the money box while everybody was inside enjoying themselves. I sat there largely by myself, just making sure that if anyone came in, that someone would be at the door. So it gives you an idea of some of the things that go on. We do need help with it in terms of selling tickets and everything else. Our guest speaker this year will be none other than, drum roll, please. You can insert it in your own head. The former Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson.
Yes, under the Obama administration.
Sorry?
Mm-hmm. Under the Obama administration.
Right. So we are also honoring people from around the county for their contributions to the Democratic Party as a whole over the course of, I don't want to say a lifetime, but over a substantial number of years, because most of these people aren't done contributing and donating their time graciously and generously to the Democratic Party, Democratic causes, Democratic candidates, and standing up for what's right in many other things too. One such person has already spoken here tonight, Dr. Leslie Grant. She is one of our honorees this year. Among the other honorees, we have Margaret Henn and we did it regionally by the Southwest, who is another tremendous advocate over many years and has led the Southwest Democrats for a long time. We have Makita Scott, who's most recently been on the Baltimore County School Board. She did not run for election this cycle, but she's been on the Baltimore County School Board, and that just scratches the surface for her background. And I'm not trying to give a bio on everybody, but Steve Lafferty, who was the delegate from what is now 42A, but will be changing designations, but he currently serves as the County Director of Planning. And also Johnny O. Sr., that's right. We'll have a father-son combo at work at our Unity dinner this year. We're also honoring Senator Dolores Kelly for her decades of contributions on behalf of the state of Maryland, Baltimore County, the Democratic Party, and I could go on and on and on about that, but I will save that for the Unity dinner and those who will be introducing her and for then. And finally, we have our own Central Committee Advocate of the Year, and that is none other than Linda Dorsey Walker for all her many, many contributions. And if we were to start listing them, I suspect that we would need another 2 hours to reserve at Martins Valley Mansion for the event. So with that in mind, I hope anyone who's interested can help, but certainly everyone's invited. Please join us. Am I forgetting anything here, Linda, or Katie, when it comes to the Unity dinner?
So we already have budgets of $4,000. So we're doing very well. We have 3 people have stepped up for bronze. Myself, Tracy Miller, and Julie Sugar, and Leslie Grant. So we're well on our way. And please, the link is on our website. I sent the invitations out last week. Please buy your tickets. Please contact me if you have any questions. And I think we're going to have a really good affair. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. And part of what you do as part of being your responsibility is to support on every level, not just by attending events and showing up at least the minimum number of meetings every year. I mean, we want you to attend all state Central Committee meetings, but if it falls below 6 meetings, if you have 6 absences, then that's going to be a trigger point for us. So, when we ask you to show up, it means attending the state events, our county events, and supporting us. the event is not free. It's $85. And even though we don't have a membership fee like some other organizations that you may be a part of, $85 is at least the minimum that any Central Committee member should expect to contribute toward the Central Committee. And it's in the form of a very delicious dinner and good speakers and good company. And the date is September 22nd. The happy hour will be at 6 o'clock. The actual event will start at 7 o'clock. And, our guest speaker is an excellent speaker, very personable individual who's excited about coming. And I don't want to give away more secrets than that.
Now, for those of you who really would like to see a comedy show as part of the Unity Dinner, I'm sorry, but that was for the last two virtual ones. I will not be putting on yet another one this time around because we will be in person where we can interact with one another. So no comedy show or specific comedy show this time around. Anyway, so I assume there are no further questions about the Unity Dinner for now. I tried to get
George.
Oh, sorry, George.
Oh yeah, I just want to add about the piggyback on the Unity Dinner. Those that participate on the communications committee, even though you'll be a paying guest at the Unity Dinner, we will still need your efforts in communications because there's going to be a lot of picture taking, videos. So we'll have people positioned throughout the event, capturing all of the good things that are going on. So when you pay your $85, I mean, I know you're going to get a plate of food, but we're still going to need you to work a little bit if you're on the communications, because as you know, that's one of the biggest attended events in the county. So we want to capture every moment that we can. I have equipment that I can share, but don't forget the phones that you guys have. You guys have some awesome phones that you can take pictures. We just have to find a way. You just have to find a way to get those pictures back to us so we can upload them to our website. But anyway, just putting that little bit out there. We'll definitely need workers for this event. But anyway, that's it for me.
All right, Ann, I see you have your hand raised.
Yeah, there has been a question raised in the chat I really think we need to address, and that is about the 50 Shades reference. It does kind of rub me wrong.
Well, I would say that we could discuss it, but we've been talking about this for 4 months now. And we still have to get to the bylaws part, but I'm not here to shut anyone down. So I see Liz is nodding along with what Ann has to say. So Ann, to the extent you can, try to be, try to be brief if you can, only because I have to get to Danny too with the bylaws.
I've said what I have to say.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just one of these things we've talked about for 4 months.
It's a new member, Jason, and I think maybe we should talk about it in the executive committee meeting about it, or we should get together, after this meeting and speak about it.
Okay, I didn't see the comment, and we can address it. And I apologize, Ann. Once again, for those of you who are picking up on this, this is something that's been suggested, like I said, 4 months ago. I thought it was a good idea because it gave the big tent unity. It emphasized the unity aspect of it. I recognize that there is obviously another connotation that some may take with it. So in any event, that's I hope that help explains that comment.
I apologize. This is the first I've heard of it, but I have not been fully present in all the recent meetings.
Okay. No, it's
a new member.
Apologize for, Ann.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just trying to be sensitive to the time, and
well,
that's all. So we're going to go turn to Danny with bylaws, because we had talked about the potential to have for discussion tonight a bylaw change, but I'm gonna let Danny run with this.
Well, good evening, everyone. As Jason said, I'm Danny Brown. I'm the chair of the bylaws committee. We've been actually working on the bylaws for the last 2 years, and one of the amendment suggestions that we sent to everyone, I believe it was the 6th of July, and it speaks on Article 5, Section 1A, about each member should be a registered Democrat and a resident of Baltimore County and of the senatorial district from which the member has been elected or appointed. This is something that the committee worked on. This is what we came up with, and this is what was sent to every member on the Central Committee. It's up for discussion if anyone has any questions about it. I know this is a late hour. We will take your questions about this bylaw change, and the floor is open. Any questions?
Does anybody have a question? Oh, sorry. Ann, do you have a question?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Mark, you have a question.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. So this bylaw would make it so, for instance, 44A and B, which is my area, the future elections would be just 6 people from that general area, would not differentiate between the A and the B. Is that the gist of it?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
The election of Central Committee members would not be divided by the A and the B part of the district. Is that, forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to clarify what this amendment.
No, actually, you're right. If it's senatorial, it would be that senatorial. But if it's like, say, if it's district, so if it's a district, because as you said, it's 11A, 11B, like 44A, 44B. Those are the 2 areas that this would probably come into play.
And some others.
Pardon me, or other ones too. The ones that have multiple, A's and B's in their district. So this being senatorial, it would be everyone would have an opportunity to vote on who would fill a vacancy. But if it was district, then it would be just like, it'd be like 11A by itself or 11B by itself.
Which is what it is now, I think.
No, that's what it is for the very first time, because the person in charge of Board of Elections made a mistake.
Oh, really?
For all these decades, 11. Exactly. It was always just 10. It was always just one number, and the person made a mistake and then said, "Oh, it's too late to change it."
Okay, just want to clarify. So in that sense, it simplifies the process.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
Tara, Tara?
Yeah, I have a number of questions about it. First of all, if we go, there are a number of reasons why the committee would have gone with legislative. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just think there's a number of issues to talk about. Part of the reason for legislative is because senatorial districts can cross jurisdictions and legislative districts do not. So I think if we're going to make a change like one word, we're going to have to go back through the appointment process to make sure that we're not saying, for example, if, let's just take 43, for example, let's say we lose a member, then we're not saying that the Baltimore City can also be a part of deciding who's going to be on our central committee. So those are some wording changes. Now let me finish. Those are just some wording changes that we need to look at. I also think that another reason that we've done it by legislative districts is because the reason that the General Assembly has taken some of these larger senatorial districts and divided them into legislative districts is because of diversity issues, whether it's religious diversity, political diversity, racial diversity. If we go all of them, if we start doing everything at large within senatorial districts, we could lose some voices. So it's just something to put on the table to think about. So I would not want, at this point, I would not vote for this amendment because I think there are a number of issues that still need to be addressed, and that's one of them. In addition, we have always set it up that only the people who are registered to vote in that particular district are part of the selection process. it does end up meaning we only have a couple of people in some districts, and that's a very small number. And it may be better for us to go in the larger number, but at this point, we are becoming less democratic if we are starting to say people in, say, 44B are going to vote for people who will represent the people in 44A. So I think there are some real issues here that what I'm saying is that I think what you need to do before you make this one change is to go back through the appointment process and make sure the wording matches and that it's something that everybody wants to do. And then my final point is that you're talking about a change that could come pretty soon. If we get a Democratic governor, that Democratic governor could very well pull from our legislators to serve on their board. So we may be doing appointments, but it's going to be the new Central Committee that's going to be making those decisions. So I'm not sure the old Central Committee, those of us who are leaving, should be the ones to vote for such an important and massive change to the way we do things. So I think you're right to be looking at the appointment process. I think it's important to look at the concept of senatorial districts versus legislative, but I think that we need to let the new committee do that. And I think we need to look at all the wording within the bylaws, because I think there's some discrepancies. Now, if you change that word, what will happen when we get to an appointment process is there will be confusion because it's not a match. So I think there's a number of things that would keep me from voting for it. Not that I think it's a bad idea. I just think there are too many issues with it.
Well, that's why we're discussing things.
Yeah.
Mark, is your hand still up or it's supposed to be down,
I was
Mark?
gonna say, yeah, I think Carson's up next.
Yeah, I got it,
Okay.
Jason. Okay, Carson, go ahead. Oh, wait a minute, Tara, are you finished?
I am, and I can't figure out how to get my hand down.
Oh,
Every time I go to press it.
go to the reaction button, that's all.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carson.
Thank you, Mr. Blunt, and thank you, Dr. Ebersol. I agree with almost everything you said. I think as a member who's yet to be sworn in, I think it is imperative that a change for the next election is decided by those that are being sworn in, or that have yet to been sworn in as well, the next upcoming committee. And secondarily, I have a question. If say there's a vacancy for delegate in 44B, would both 44A and B vote for that delegate?
Well, they would do that if it was senatorial.
Right. So
His question, I think,
following the
was-
change.
Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, Carson, but it was if someone from 44B steps down, do everybody else in 44 then decide who the replacement 44B will be?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's what he's asking. I understood what he asked. You know, if it's legislative district, like if it's A and B, say if it's in A, right? The folks that are in A would deal with that, just like in B. Like if if it was in B, only the folks in B would do that. You know.
So say it's 11 and we have a delegate vacancy. Okay, there is a delegate in 11A and 2 in 11B. If there's a vacancy in 11A, would 11B, the Central Committee members, be involved in voting for to fill that vacancy in 11A?
As it stands right now,
No.
Right.
Right, but you with this language change, that would be yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so
go
yes,
ahead. Yeah. So I mean, this is why we're discussing it. We're discussing it. We're going to take it back to the bylaws committee, and we're going to talk about it again. That's why we're discussing it, to get you guys' opinions on it and take it back and rethink it and work it through. So that's what we're doing. We're not voting on anything tonight. We're just discussing.
Yeah. Can I speak now?
Well, if he's done, just a second, Linda.
You finished? You finished?
Yes,
Linda.
I am finished.
Yeah, so when he's done, Linda, then you'll get it. Just a second, Linda. Okay, go ahead, Linda.
All right. So what we're talking about, and what you all have been talking about, what Tara was talking about, doesn't really apply to history. We just had vacancies in 11. What you don't understand, Carson, is we've always just been one district. Someone made a mistake, and now people are talking about taking advantage of their mistake. We talked about this over a year ago and decided what language would be. This was not supposed to be for the new folks coming in. We already voted on this, and we made the language consistent. We have down how senatorial districts will be broken down and how many people will represent each senatorial district. The only change that's taken place in the past year in terms of really the district name itself, we had a split district with 44A and B. It came a time when the vast majority of people in senatorial districts 44 lived on the Baltimore County side, not on the Baltimore City side. I was one of several people that lobbied for a year to bring all of 44 inside of Baltimore County. And eventually they started listening and said, let's bring all of 44 back inside of Baltimore County. And it wasn't done for the purpose of splitting it up. It was so that all of 44 would, we have one District 10, we have one District 7, we have one District 6, we had one District 11, and so this was supposed to have one District 44. Years ago, we've always, see, someone misquoted history. We've always been based on senatorial districts, because what happened was years ago, we were always based on senatorial districts, and someone put in some legislation one year that say Baltimore County Central Committee has to be designated according to councilmanic districts. That stayed in place for one term only. And then Senator Kelly made a very good point. She said that it should be based on the highest ranking position in that county. And she put in legislation to reverse it, to say that it must be on senatorial basis. She did that. And it's been in place for like 30 years, 20 years now. And so what we're talking about now is somebody made a mistake, and now folks want to take advantage of the mistake that was made, because they originally had said that they were going to just, this is strictly for Central Committee, not for the delegate seats. The delegate seats are still going to be 11A and 11B, 44A and 44B. That wouldn't change. That's in the law. What would change is, wouldn't change, we would go back to the way we've always done. We've always just had an 11th district. We always just had a 10th district, a 7th district, a 6th district. And so for the Central Committee, and it was based on the senatorial district. And if Senator Kelly was here, she would tell you about the whole history of it, but she's not here.
But Linda, I need to point out one thing here on that, is that I'm only just clarifying one point. 42A and B for the last 10 years has been one senatorial district, 42, but it's only ever for Central Committee appointments been treated as 42A separate from B. 42B had nothing to do with appointing replacements for the Central Committee.
You had spillover though. I'm talking about, remember, under our new language, it only talks about if the entire senatorial district is within Baltimore County.
Well, 42A and B is within Baltimore County. It always has been, at least the past version of it last 10 years.
It wasn't.
So let's go to Reese next.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Reese.
Thanks, Jason. I just wanted to say that I kind of support the position of Dr. Ebersol and Carson as well. And I say that because I understand that it was a mistake. And it shouldn't have been broken down by that due to the error of the folks at the Board of Elections. But I think regardless, it's in the record that the members of the Democratic Party have voted, and it's on the record that we represent these districts. And I don't like the idea of changing the bylaws to where it's not B and A anymore after so soon after the election.
Okay.
Okay.
The bylaws don't state B and A.
Cheryl.
So let's go to Cheryl. Sorry.
Can you guys put your hands down that already spoke, please?
I was mostly going to say what Jason already said, which was that the entirety of 42 for the last 10 years has all been in Baltimore County and everything was separate. So this isn't actually all that new. However, this means that when there was a vacancy for delegate in 42A, that nothing against Jason, even though I ran, you probably made the better choice actually. But there were two people that were deciding who the delegate is, and she's going to be the delegate in that seat for the next 10 years probably, because she won by a landslide. Now, I think Kathy is great, but I also don't think that two people should be making a decision that's that long lasting. Like nobody else really got any input, and it's, you know, tens of thousands of eligible voters and two people got to decide. So maybe having a little bit more than just two people would be the way to go, which, I mean, the way it is now, with it being 43B, that is split with Baltimore City, there's no way around that. But like, I don't feel comfortable being in that position now, that if something happens, it's just me and one other person making a decision.
So we're gonna have to cut this off. We be here all night.
Let's get Corey and Matt in, because they have not spoken on it, but your point is well taken, Danny. Sorry. I just want to make sure they have the opportunity to say something.
Sure, absolutely.
They have their hands raised. Corey?
No, I'm just opposed to this measure as well. And citing Cheryl's argument that that it shouldn't be down to just the two people. There's also, when we handled that situation in the event of the tie, the chair of the party also acted as ex officio member to the district in the event of tie. So it was really, you know, a protective measure to do three people for that. And but you know, the races can be competitive, and you know, as if it's just two people running in a district, the race is more competitive, just as it would be to fill a vacancy for the seat. And I am opposed to this for all the reasons that Tara has stated. And yeah, thank you.
Corey.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, I think I agree with Tara on this. I mean, and the fact of the matter is, it does help with geographic diversity when it comes to the central committee. For example, if you have one enclave that's in 44A or 44B, one enclave that has a lot more, you know, it has a lot more political capital than in the other, that it helps spread some of that to the other part of the district. I really think the legislative district, by adding more geographic diversity, helps to diversify the committee.
Yeah, thank you.
The last thing I would like to say, sorry, Matthew, we're done.
Jason, yeah.
One of the goals for me, and the people who know me understand this, what I would like to see accomplished is something that minimizes future conflicts. However this shapes up, it is what it is. I care about managing future conflicts that are foreseeable to make sure that we are not setting ourselves up for a problem down the road that's going to be divisive and fractious and cause us to not be able to operate with unity or cohesively. So that is something I keep in mind when it comes to bylaw changes and other such things that can have this impact. Your comments, everyone's comments here have been heard here tonight. I'm going to turn it back to Danny to finalize the discussion here for the evening. But I just wanted to say that is something I think that no matter how this shapes up, we all have to have an eye on preventing future issues.
You know, I agree with everything you say, Jason. I'm a proactive guy. You got to look down the road. One of the things that I really think that's important here is that the people who live in those districts should make those decisions. That's the most important thing for me. I don't think anyone from out the district should be able to make decisions on people who live in that district, who represents them. So it's very important that we understand that that is the people who live in that district should choose who they want to represent them in any vacancy that occurs. So that's what I want to say in closing. But I agree with Jason. I don't like conflict. I want to be proactive, and we should think these things through thoroughly before we make any decisions, and really realize the most important thing is to let the people who live in that district choose who they want to replace anyone when there's a vacancy. So Jason, on that note.
Well, Danny, I thank you for leading that discussion. I know this is somewhat complicated given the timing of when this hits relative to where we are in an election cycle. And of course, the nature of the change and its potential consequences. But we could follow up and down the road and figure out where we're going to go with this based on these comments in the bylaws committee, and then see where that takes us.
And that's what we'll do.
So I appreciate it, Danny, for getting this ready and also leading this discussion. All right. So we have gone through all of our business. Is there any other business to discuss here?
Yes.
I heard a yes. Who's saying
It's
yes?
Tracy.
Tracy is.
This is quick and it's social. I bought tickets to a play at Fells Point Corner Theater Sunday at 2. It's called Do It Now, and it's about Schaefer. Those of
Yes.
you who
I'll
remember.
take them. I'll take them.
Yes.
Well,
I'll take
Trying to get them.
I had to give up the better
This-
years of my life working for the man, so continue.
right. Well, so anyway, so
I sued him.
having having been felled with COVID, I can't now go.
Oh yes.
I'll be happy to take him. My buddy is the only black guy in that play. Keith Snipes.
Danny,
He's the only
make
black
a deal.
By the
guy
way,
in that play.
he
Keith
performed at the
Snipes.
Unity dinner
He sure
last
did.
year.
So
That's
I have
right.
something really important.
All
I have
right,
something really important. You guys,
Danny, email me.
Okay,
will.
great.
Thank
One
you.
of them.
Hold on.
I have something
Reading?
very important.
Because it's
All
sold
right.
out.
Okay, from the Maryland State Party, the meeting for the state party. Okay, so as Central Committee members, we have to go up to one of the 2 state party meetings a year. The state party meeting is going to be December 17th. It's a Saturday. It's at 10 a.m. It's at the IBEW Union Hall in Prince George's County. All the elected members were going to be sworn in then. Mark your calendar. And then the next Tuesday, it will be the meeting of our Central Committee. And that's going to be the first day that the newly electeds are going to form the committee. Oh, also at the December 17th meeting, we're going to elect the new executive committee for the Maryland State Party.
Right.
So please mark your calendars. New people, please mark your calendars for the 3rd Tuesday of each month. That's when we have our monthly meeting. And so that answers our question about when the current class of 2018 will be leaving their office. So thank you, everyone.
Yes. Tracy Miller, you're my best friend this evening.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
All right, hold on. George has his hand up, so let's go to George so we can get this adjourned. George?
Oh, yeah, just to add, William Donald Schaefer, back
Yes.
in 2012, when Peter Franchos was a controller, he established the William Donald Schaefer Award that he gave to one person in each one of the 23 counties. I was the recipient for Baltimore County in 2020
Yes, he was.
for William Donald Schaefer. So I kind of go all the way back with Schaefer. But anyway, just to put my plug in as well, Ann.
And I told the city and sued him. Danny, I'll make a deal. If I get the tickets, I'll take you as a date.
All right,
Well,
let's do this. Let's discuss this after the
I already
fact.
have a date.
I see Delegate Bandari has his hand up. He hasn't spoken yet tonight. Delegate Bandari?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
All right, I
Thank
assume
you.
everyone's in favor, so I'll just say aye on behalf of everybody.
Who seconded the motion?
Second.
There you go. So we are adjourned. Now, if you want to talk about tickets and Donald Schaefer or whatever,